My project is about how rape culture shows up in the media and how the media can either silence survivors or give them a voice. I'm looking at real cases, television shows, and social media to show how often the system fails people, but also how survivors still find ways to speak out. I started with Jeffrey Epstein because he's one of the clearest examples of how someone using money, power, and connections, years of abuse. Epstein controlled young girls through fear, manipulation, and isolation. Survivors tried to come forward long before the public ever heard about him, but they were ignored, doubted, or completely shut down. The media barely touched the story for years, which shows how deeply systems can protect abusers instead of victims. Harvey Weinstein is another example. Many women in Hollywood spoke up or tried to warn others about him, but nobody listened because of how much influence he had. People were scared of losing their jobs if they spoke out. It took investigative reporters to finally expose everything. His case helped push the #MeToo movement into the spotlight and showed how normal it is for survivors to be silenced. I included Diddy because his situation shows how fame and public image can shape the way abuse is talked about. For years, allegations were dismissed or softened. Survivors spoke out, but their stories weren't taken seriously or were overshadowed by his celebrity status. It shows how powerful men can control the narrative and how the media often protects them. The Handmaid's Tale exaggerates reality, but the themes are very real. The show creates a world where sexual violence is normalized and justified by the system. It mirrors how society still blames victims, controls women's bodies, and expects silence. In 13 Reasons Why, sexual assault is ignored by the people who should help. Hannah and Jessica both experience trauma, but the school and community don't take it seriously. Meanwhile, Bryce gets protected because of his status. It highlights the victim blaming and how easy it is for survivors to be dismissed. Outlander shows the long-term effects of sexual trauma, especially with Jamie's storyline. Male survivors are rarely represented in media, and the show takes his trauma seriously. It doesn't rush healing or pretend it's simple. It focuses on the emotional and physical impact, which is something a lot of media avoids. Reign shows how survivors can be pressured to stay quiet to protect powerful people. Mary is a queen, but people around her want the assault hidden for political reasons. It shows how often survivors are expected to stay silent to keep someone else comfortable or maintain image. Then there's the Me Too movement. It gave survivors the space to speak out when they were ignored for years. Millions of people shared their stories, forcing the media and society to acknowledge the reality of sexual assault. It changed the conversation by showing how widespread it really is. And finally, I talk about TikTok and cancel culture. TikTok has become a platform where survivors share their stories when the system fails them. They call out abusers, find support, and raise awareness. These videos spread quickly, and for many survivors, this is the only place they feel heard. Cancel culture is complicated. Sometimes it helps survivors by bringing attention to abusers who were protected for years, but it can also get messy. Some people get canceled instantly, while others face almost no consequences. Survivors can get attacked online or pressured to prove their trauma again. It shows that social media is powerful, but online reactions aren't the same as real justice. Overall, my project shows how much influence the media has on stories we believe, who we protect, and who we ignore. Survivors continue to speak out, even when the system fails them, and media plays a huge role in whether their voices are heard or silenced.